meditation before we dig into our meeting today. So yeah, this meditation is specifically intended to help boost us with some vibrant life force energy. So yeah, I invite you to find a comfortable position that can be sitting, standing, maybe you're on the floor, laying down. We'll just be here for a couple minutes. And I invite you to close your eyes and settle into being with yourself and the geckos. So bring awareness back to your body and observe your breath. Just simply noticing how you breathe. Maybe you can see and visualize in your mind's eye your breath flowing in and flowing out of your body. And if you notice your attention wandering, you can always just bring it back to your breath. On your inhale breath, bringing energy, vitality, life force into your body. And on the exhale breath, feel as your body begins to release any stress, any negativity, any tiredness. Just allow it to drain out through your feet and let it go, giving it to Pachamama. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Just stay with these deep inhales, deep exhales, for a few long, sweet breaths. With each inhale, bringing more and more energy into your body, feeling the subtle vibration of energy coursing through your body from your feet to your head, and your head back down to your feet, spiraling the energy through your body, becoming aware of the warmth and tingling of every cell. Now I invite you to visualize all the positive energy you've accumulated in your body, and just visualize all those energies shining as bright as the sun. Bring the shining glow of energy to your crown center at the top of your head, breathing in and out. From the top of your head, feel as the warmth of the positive energy begins to radiate down over your face and your neck, and feel the lightness and peacefulness in your mind. Breathing in and breathing out. Now you can feel the healing energy moving over your neck and your shoulders, down your arms to your fingertips and over your heart center. Feeling the warmth and love within your heart, and allowing this healing positive energy to fill you with unconditional love for yourself. Breathing in and out, feeling the healing energy moving down into your hips and down your legs all the way to your toes as you're grounding to the earth, feeling grounded, centered, supported. Breathing in and out. Your whole body now is filled with this positive healing energy, this radiating sunlight. And allow the positive energy to flow freely through your body, getting stronger and stronger with each inhale and exhale. And just focus your attention on your breath and feeling that flow, that free flow of energy with clarity and alertness in your mind, energy and vitality in your body, and positivity and peacefulness in your soul. Just taking one more deep breath in and one more deep breath out. I invite you to begin bringing some movement back into your body. If you want to wiggle your fingers and toes and bring some movement to your shoulders and neck. And when you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes, maybe have a soft gaze at first. Look around your space, maybe look at your body. And then when you feel settled, we can bring it back to the virtual room. Connect with everyone here. Hi. For our check-in today, I would love to hear just like one word overall how you're feeling right now, and then if you've got any agenda requests or intentions for today, any big updates you want to share, and if you've got any distractions. I can share that I'm feeling grounded, and I've got my intention for the agenda today is to go through and discuss updates on the Sprint 10 priorities that we decided for last week and see where we're at with everything. And then if we've got time to talk about any goals this specific team has for our in-person gatherings that are starting this weekend. And I don't have any, well, Elon just walked in, so that was the only thing I'm distracted by. And I will pass it to Hannah.
I am feeling good, especially after that meditation. That was great. Thank you. And also here to soak up as much as I can. I'm excited because I quit my job next week, so I'm just trying to get more involved in different teams with Giveth. So I'm super excited, and I will pass it to Lauren.
Hey everyone. Cool. Okay. My intentions for the call are just to sync up with everybody. I'm feeling good. I don't know. I don't have anything to say right now. I'll pass it to Willie.
I'm feeling best day ever. Quit your job, join the revolution. Love that. I had this familiar feeling where I just got right off of a long day of work, and it's been great, and it's fun stuff I'm working on, but you get a little bit exhausted, but then I come here, Forrest gives an amazing centering, and I'm feeling so energized and excited to work on this stuff with you guys and give token. So I'm excited, and I'll pass it to Ashley.
Hey, thanks, Willie. I'm feeling pretty good today, feeling pretty focused. My intentions for the call is just sync up, see where we're at, maybe provide some updates on project verification when we get to that section. But other than that, I don't really see anything that I would add to the agenda. So that all looks good. And I think it's back to you, Forrest.
Awesome.
I still have to go. I have, let's see, I'm feeling great. And I have a few agenda topics. Number one, well, I have four agenda topics. Claims, and maybe just showing that off. Talking about framing our vesting and how we want to do that. Maybe it's more of a comms topic, but I think I should just bring it up in this call. And introduce someone else whose name is Frashella, who I'm going to onboard as my payments person, payroll person, and seeing where she can come in. And then also sort of off topic of this call, but it's we're here, so there's a bunch of people coming in, and I want to just discuss how do we pay them, or what do we want to do payments for Hannah and now there was talk about Ben maybe coming in, and then there's Carlos who's doing dev work, right? And we just don't have anything set up. There's no hasn't been a hiring process or anything, so what should we do? Because we want to reward people who are working for us, right? So we have to figure that out.
I think Danny had proposed something, or there was a decision made in a governance meeting at one point. After 3 months of contribution, then they would become part of
our DAO.
Yeah.
And there was also a process though through the RGIV DAO that I think Danny set up for like making a proposal, basically, what kind of right what you're going to be working on in the payment you're requesting. So I think something like that. I like that method. Yeah. And I think it's acceptable, right? It's just like a job application, but basically you just make it to the DAO, and the DAO decides.
Yeah, and I think for the 3 months before that, it was like you make a milestone under the Giveth project, telling like what it was that you worked on for that month and like your amount of contribution, and then it was distributed through the milestone. But I don't know if that's still in effect.
That would be cool. Okay, thank you guys for those great ideas and clarity. I'm down for that.
Cool. So are we, yeah, and I guess right now we have the RGIV DAO, and so it's a little different though, but ultimately like the goal is to do this with the Gardens DAO and with this huge pot of Fox, or sorry, of Give at the DAO building.
Yeah, that's another thing going forward. I'm just thinking that we have like, you know, these two months maybe where we have to figure out regular payments before we have, you know, Give tokens. So
on that note too, why don't we use some of the funds potentially? We can consider using the funds that we have in the Giveth trace for Giveth 2. We have a decent amount of treasury there, and probably enough to last us through launching this Give token. So, and we still have some left over.
Okay, that would be cool. That would be great. And then we keep things the same for ideally. I really just prefer not to change things so much, you know. So if we just do a new process for the new people, where it's like you guys do the Giveth 2 things, and then I already have like, you know, I'm still paying the people that I'm paying. That honestly is easier than trying to build a whole new process for everyone or something, you know, like, and if we want, we can just reimburse me or something, but honestly, I'm not even worried about it. I would rather just be simple.
Cool. And I'll say too, when I say like I'm gonna jump in more and help out where I can, no like expectations there from my end or anything. But yeah, just excited to help out.
Yeah, well, we have a culture of, you know, like I like rewarding volunteers. You know, we've been trying to work on this problem for like 5 years, and it's been a goal of mine to say volunteers should be rewarded. You know, so yeah, it'll work out. It'll work out.
Well, I can talk with Danny Bell and figure out the process that she's created, and I can make a pinned message in the contribute channel of Discord that kind of explains the process of how new contributors can get rewarded for their work.
Cool, and we need to talk to Mateo and Carlos about it too, because I mean he's a developer doing dev work. Like that's like very like okay, you know, it's clear you should get paid or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Although also there's source cred, which is something. It's there.
My computer's wigging out a little bit. I'm going to turn my video off. I love that plan. Thanks for jumping in there, Ashley, and making that post and talking with Danny about this. So does that sound like a good plan, Hannah, for you and for these other folks who are joining? You think they'd be up for it, for basically creating a milestone and Giveth trace right now? And we have treasury, we have funds there, and then we can handle that through Giveth trace. And then once we launch the gardens, we got to figure out just the overall plan for kind of everybody. Basically on day one, people will be able to make their proposals, but we don't necessarily want to. Maybe we do. Just, I don't know, cut off the other funding you don't want to. Yeah, you're saying you're happy to keep paying it for a bit, Group?
Yeah, let's keep things chill. You know, like, oh, hey, first proposals out there, pay us our salaries. I don't know, it doesn't feel good, you know? Like everyone will get an airdrop of Give tokens, and maybe we can just be like, hey, got a bunch of free Give tokens. Maybe don't take pay for a week, for a month or something. We could even do, you know, we are just gonna like airdrop Give tokens on everybody. That could be ideally the first proposals that come through are like exciting. You know, like, oh, project curation, or, oh, you know, I don't know. Like, hopefully they're exciting, not just like, oh, hey, pay my monthly salary.
I like that. And maybe, yeah, that's true. Maybe we can have just one proposal for everybody together too. Like that's a possibility as well. Just for everyone who's already getting paid, just continue paying the existing Giveth team. I'm sure the community would support that. And just transitioning that to the DAO. And then that way,
Actually, the RGive DAO has money to pay us, I think.
Okay, cool. So, and we can also, if for any reason the treasury starts or the Giveth trace starts running low, and we still want to keep using that, we could send some give over there from the RDAO.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Sounds like we got a pretty good plan.
Yeah, that's the way. I forgot. We have this like 10% goes to our Give association, and we just use that to pay salaries.
Perfect. Okay, and then while we're on the topic of payments, do you want to introduce us to Freshella, for lack of I'm not sure how to spell that.
Yeah, it's like, well, maybe I'm getting it wrong too. I think it's just Fresh Ella, like Fresh Ella, Fresh her. But yeah, she is in the Philippines. She'll be working closely with Ivy. Her role will be to handle all of the payments that I make in general for a lot of teams, General Magic, Giveth, and just like at least anything that I'm doing with payment. She's like my personal payroll person. But she's also an admin rock star, and payroll's not that much work. So I was thinking she really loves accounting. She is a certified CPA in the Philippines and worked for Deloitte and has she's like a rock star accountant person who loves doing admin work. So when we have some source cred, maybe Hannah, if you wanted to take on source cred and you want to work with Freshella a little bit on executing, part of her role is also cat herder. She seems relatively extroverted, so going and talking to everybody and making sure that the payments are right and making sure that everything is cool. That's the other part of her job. So it's kind of this doing the numbers and meeting everyone, being social, making sure that payments are happening, keeping tabs on it. So it's a resource. She's here. Well, I'm going to onboard her tonight. She did interviews with several people and she passed. But she's in the Philippines, so she's probably not even awake right now. But she'll be soon. Actually, I have a call with her right after this. It's her first call in the morning. But
you gotta get up, Freshella.
Yeah. So that's cool. I don't know. I don't have anything specific other than just to make awareness around the fact that she exists and that she can help us in these things.
Awesome. Is she in Discord yet?
No, I haven't onboarded. She literally got hired Monday night. So we're still and she's going. We found her through Upwork, so we're paying her through Upwork. And so I needed to set Heather, the former Hannah number 2, but now she's going by her real name, Heather. I always recommend people don't use their legal names in the crypto space. So but she's going back to Heather. She's had to set up the Upwork and all this stuff and sort things out. So tonight will be Freshella's first onboard, and thank you for reminding me. I'll get her on all the Discords and Telegrams and these things.
Amazing. And then Griff, do you feel? I'm not sure what you want to share around claims investing. Do you feel that we should go through that before we go through Rinky deployment and
sure.
updates? Okay.
Sure. I mean, well, the Rinky deployment and claims are the same. I guess we can start there. That's kind of exciting. Man, I get the whole meeting. Cool. Let me post a link in our chat.
Okay.
So here you should be able to set your wallet address to your Giveth address and claim some Give tokens. It's working, although it's of course the whole pictures are around DAppNode and it's still a little like simple, is what I'd say. And maybe we want to make it a little more extravagant or make it more fun, but it's a start. We got something that you can interact with. There's real smart contracts on Rinkeby with the real airdrop, and it's streaming Give tokens to you that you can claim. I believe that we set it so that the 4-year vesting was like 2 weeks. So it's streaming really fast. So you can get a lot of Give tokens even if you just wait like an hour. There'll be more than enough that you can claim again, you know? So that's cool. I mean, I can share screen too if you guys want, but yeah, I would just go play with it. But great progress.
Awesome. Thank you, Griff. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's anything specific that you want to show before we kind of test on our own. I mean, obviously, just I need to connect my wallet and stuff, so I'm not seeing a whole lot on this initial dashboard.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I figure you guys can each just like go and play. I don't think I need to share screen. In fact, if it's not intuitive, then we're doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of not intuitive.
Do you have any claimable? I don't have any claimable, but I have a bunch that I can assign.
Yeah, so you have to assign first. I mean, this is literally just the function name, you know? Like, I'm so sorry, you know? Like, it's just the function name and the contract is assign. And you have to basically assign your tokens to yourself, to your own address. You could assign the tokens to another address. Right? That's...
I just typed that in. Let's see. Can I flip the camera?
Let's see what address you had, Heather, on the Give
That's
tokens.
actually Hannah.
Wait.
Sorry, Hannah, not Jeff.
I'm going to try to flip my phone because for some reason Jitsi crashes my computer. But I typed it in on my computer. And I typed in that. But then it says, can you guys see this? Or is this like... bad.
I can just see that it's an error message, but I can't read what it says.
Attackers might be trying to do something.
To steal your information, because it's going like www17.giveth. Is that expected?
It doesn't happen for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I've got an HTTPS connection.
Did you type in HTTPS?
I typed in HTTPS, and then when I type it in and enter it, it like crosses that out in red, and then it goes www.giveth/claims.netify.app. So I don't know. That's
You want to maybe try in another browser if you have one, or I guess you need to use Chrome with MetaMask.
yeah.
So if you have Brave, maybe give it a try.
Yeah, I'll try and Brave.
I might not fix it, but worth a try.
Yeah, you have to be set to your address too. That's like the one that we have in the airdrop.
I think I'm using the right address. I'm getting a dead click on assign. Has anyone gotten it to work yet?
Oh, it's working
No,
for
I
me.
haven't.
I clicked assign, but then I just had to sign a transaction, and now I have like a bunch of Give already claimable.
Nice.
But I didn't really understand how you would be able to assign it to another wallet. I guess you would just like hit assign. How would that work?
It's in the smart contract. I don't know that I don't know if we want to give that functionality to the user or not, but we chose not to.
Okay, maybe we can just change the word.
Just
Yeah.
make it clean. Yeah.
We're gonna need to change a lot of words, and that's kind of that would be the next topic. that like this framing around global lockup, or not really great. In fact, even the framing of vesting, like locking tokens. Are we locking tokens? Or are we just continually giving people more and more tokens every day? Like, so I was doing some brainstorming with Lauren because, hey, we're in the same house. It's kind of easy. And she came up with Give stream. Like, what if this was the Give stream?
I like that a lot. Yeah.
It's cool,
Yeah.
right? It's cool.
Yeah, much cooler than lock.
Continuous stream of give.
The gift that keeps on giving.
The gift that keeps on giving.
It's like a
We
gift
give
stream.
you. It's an airdrop of a bunch of tokens and a stream of tokens for the next 4 years.
It's pretty cool. I like that framing a lot more. Nice thinking, Lauren.
Yeah. So, and I think that we should probably take some time, while we are in our party house or whatever, to really like, especially with the comms team, to like nail down how we want to frame everything, because there's probably a lot more like Give stream that can be improved.
Overall, this is super cool. Yeah, I'm glad, Lauren, you were able to get it to work. I don't know what's going on for me.
I couldn't get it to work for 2 days, so there's probably still bugs. Like it didn't. Yeah, I've been working with Fabio on and off and through chats to try to get it working. It finally worked for me today, so like I'm not surprised at all that you run into a bug.
So what can we do with this? Oh, sorry. Like other than just like if we were like try it, see if it works, cool. But then if we run into issues, should we just like message Fabio? Just
Yeah,
DM?
I mean, there probably is a repo that we could make issues, but honestly, just DM Fabio. There's only one person working on it, so like, just send him a message, take some screenshots, send him a message, and maybe we'll be more organized tomorrow.
Cool.
I'll ask him where he wants issues and all that, and see what he says.
And these staking pools that are here, this is like almost just for show.
They don't. Yeah, I mean, it still says car. They're not hooked up yet. All we have hooked up is a claim token. But you should be able to use these Give tokens in the Gardens DAO. So now you can take the Give tokens that you claimed and you can go vote on things in Gardens. And that's this beta test.
Nice.
And we'll just start adding pieces that can be connected to everything as we go. Although we're going to need to redeploy everything. I guess update on Gardens. They merged Permit into Mini-Me. Edu changed Mini-Me to upgrade it to like the normal flow that most tokens use, where you don't have to sign 2 transactions. You just have an approved transaction that signs a message. And then you have like the actual click, so you don't have to wait between the two. Anyway, so Permit got added, merged to Mini-Me, and I think within about a week, that merge will cascade through all of Gardens, and then we'll be able to we'll redeploy the Giveth Gardens again, and with a new token, and then we can use that new token to work in. Currently, this token that we have, like, we'd have to do a lot of work to make it work with the liquidity mining program that Edu built. Now that Permit's merged in, now we can use the Gardens token with the liquidity mining with very few changes. So that'll be the next, and then also give backs. And we'll just start building these pieces on top of each other. But yeah, we will have to redeploy Gardens on Rinkeby.
What's the Give token address on Rinkeby?
I can send you it. Sorry, it's the D8 part.
Cool, thanks.
The redeploy might take 2 weeks. Just an FYI.
Is the first link incorrect and I should replace it with the 0xD that ends in 9?
The first link is sort of complete. It shows all the token transfers for my address. So yeah, I would just change it with the 0DX. Yeah.
So the airdrop was already done, was already tested on Rinkeby, the airdrop itself?
You just tested it. So it's a Merkle drop. It's not an airdrop. So
Okay.
in a Merkle drop, everybody has to go and claim their tokens, kind of like Uniswap did, kind of like Gitcoin did.
I have way more Give tokens in my wallet than I claimed.
Yes, because I also sent you 1 million Give tokens.
Okay, that makes more sense.
It's the
Oh yeah,
airdrop.
for the garden.
Yeah, for garden testing. Yeah.
I remember now.
Ash is like, I think I found a pretty big bug here.
I'm not going to tell anyone though. This is okay. This is.
I already took that. I already have it today. Okay, so what is the latest? Is someone else talking? I hear an echo. Is it me? Okay. I think it's okay now. What is the latest update on the liquidity mining stuff? I know you guys hacked last week. How's that going?
I have some preliminary ideas. I think Lauren and I hacked on it a little bit today, actually.
Cool. I haven't hacked on it since we met up,
Yeah, this
but I'm sure.
Maybe I could just like take a second and show some thoughts.
Yeah, let's do it.
More about how to do it and thoughts that we're brainstorming, because you know what I found with the token engineering commons and just like having this space to kind of iterate on thoughts and like build is really valuable. Let me share screen. Okay, so it's a mess of a spreadsheet for sure, but the main things, if you want to play with this, just go to make a copy, right? And make a copy. So this is like Griff's. So this is my working sheet. Like don't write over my shit, please. Yeah. So in fact, I'm gonna just maybe we just kind of agree to make that 26-week distribution a thing, and we just stick with 6 months. We kind of came to a conclusion there. Then there's like the pink stuff is stuff that can change. And actually, this could just be yellow. So you can mess with these numbers to see what happens. Like maybe we want to have vesting at 8 years instead of 4. Okay, cool. The other big thing that you can mess with is the percent per week. So the idea here is that we don't necessarily need to have the same percent every week. We can, but maybe because we're streaming extra Give, and you know there's not an even creation of Give tokens. There's kind of like a bam at the beginning, like here's a fuck ton of Give tokens for everyone. Wow, you know, and then there's kind of like not really many Give tokens given away for a while, but like it's this constant stream of Give tokens after that. And so I kind of went with this design of like, okay, for the first, like right away, let's have like a lot of liquidity mining, because maybe a lot of people get this airdrop and want to sell. We should provide liquidity to them so they can sell if they want to sell. And also reward the people who don't sell, that want to provide liquidity for them, you know, and make it so that people who hear about us now for the first time that might want to buy, they have the space, right? So having I just kind of went with like, oh, let's like have a fat stack at the beginning, and then kind of reduced it for the first two months and let it flatten out. And then because there's like this Give stream that's constantly creating new tokens, and also us as a DAO, we're going to start spending tokens, and really like more Give tokens are going to enter. Then I start adding rewards so that we can have more rewards for the larger liquidity amount. Like there's just more Give tokens. And I structured it in a way where, and this is just like a first proposal, I structured it in a way where it would be even to our circulating supply. So like you can see the total APR here. It starts off really high to deal with the fact that we just airdropped a bunch of tokens, and then it just evens out and basically stays pretty constant despite the fact that the circulating supply is going. I don't know if that didn't make sense to anybody. It was really more just me telling Willie.
I was trying.
Yeah.
Thanks for walking me through it. I think it was a really good overview and very interesting approach with the different percentages per week. No one's really done that before, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a thought, right? And the cool thing with this sheet is that we can start playing with it. We can, you know, this was one metric that I was like, oh, I would like an even percent for people going forward, you know? And, you know, if we think these percentages are too high, then we just go in here and let's just reduce all of these by half, right? Oops, that's not half.
Cool. And so anyone can go in here, and I still need to go in here too and play around with it. But I'm glad that you and Lauren have been hacking on it. We've made a lot of really good progress on this past sprint, and we definitely at least now have a model that's ready to go play around with. That was the hard part. Was getting all this model set up, and now we can just go in there and plug in a few assumptions and try and model out what we think would be the best optimal APR, basically, and the amount of Give tokens to distribute to these liquidity miners.
Yeah.
Providers.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be fun. It's fun to play with. It's not easy. This is not like the Token Engineering Commons where we spent 3 months trying to get some dashboard that you could play with and you could all vote on. We are the technocracy and we are deciding. It's just a different game. But yeah, if anyone really wants to dive into this spreadsheet and try to figure it out, maybe we can schedule another like hack sesh so that it is at least inclusive to our team. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's great. We had said in this sprint what we wanted to accomplish was having the liquidity mining research and, you know, kind of creating like what we feel the proper settings should be. So it feels like we've made a lot of progress, and I would say maybe a next step would be for those of us who understand the ins and outs of this spreadsheet or want to learn more, to copy it and save with your personal name and play around a bit. And then, yeah, either having another hack session specifically for this, maybe for like an hour or so, or even if that doesn't wind up happening, then on our next Give token call, which would be, some of us would be in person for it. It is on Monday. Then we could go over it then, or make like proposals if we see any like big changes we'd like to make. What would you say is like a big next step for liquidity mining after getting this spreadsheet oriented and aligned.
I think just like you laid it out for us is pretty perfect. Like we can do that access if people are open to it. I definitely would be open to that. But also, kind of the next step is for people to just make a proposal. You said we could talk about it at the next GIV call, and then once like this working group has consensus on what we think is a great proposal, we can make it to the broader community and get final DAO approval, make it official.
Yeah, and maybe each one of these sprint calls we could show off a proposal, and because I was really blown away at how powerful it was to iterate and just more ideas, new fresh ideas come through, and when people have responses like, yeah, but for instance, maybe we don't want to look like a scam having such a high reward at the beginning. And then, and we can debate some of these topics because if 70% of the circulating supply is pooled, then the liquid APR would be 106%, 116%, not crazy at all. But the total APR when you count the give stream is 1100%, right? That's pretty high. Maybe that feels too high. So yeah, and just really critiquing, I don't know, Lauren, you went to some debates. I think, what do you think? Should we do pram debates just as a team?
I mean, yeah, we could, or just we could just kind of have a discussion with whoever gets familiar with playing with these numbers in the spreadsheet, and then we can kind of just be okay, well, yeah. I mean, we could create proposals and just have one meeting where we're okay, here's what I think if we have high APR at the beginning or whatever, just different varieties. But I don't think we need to make it so thorough like we did in the TUC with so much time and so many meetings. No.
Griff wants opposing positions. The debate. Let's bring them.
Oh, Griff, you're on mute. Griff.
Sorry. Exactly. More than debate, I really just want iterate. I want us to iterate and make it better a couple times. Because, of course, any one of us, Willie, me, Lauren, we've been playing with this spreadsheet. We come up with something. And it'd be okay, that sounds good. But yeah, okay, it'd probably be fine. But if we spent a little bit of time iterating on it and looking at problems, looking for problems and making suggestions.
Thinking about it in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, what I'm hearing too is that there's not a huge rush. I always have this just sense of urgency to get this stuff done so we can check it off and be done with it. It seems we don't necessarily need to have this done this sprint, and we can continue tweaking it up until we're ready to deploy these contracts, basically.
Exactly.
Well, and I think once we have the hack session and each person goes in and makes a draft of how they played with the numbers, maybe then each person who made a draft can kind of present their draft and why they chose those numbers.
Yeah. And then we challenge, and as a team, I know it's hard because we're all lovey-dovey and stuff, but we should challenge each other and make this better.
Here's a question. If we, that percentage that you have for the different percentage per week, if we add all that to the smart contract, because it's not just a single percentage, it's not just a curve or anything like that, does that increase gas costs of the contract?
So
uses it in stakes?
Not for the people, but for us, yes.
Just for us deploying it? Cool. That's cool.
Yeah. It's really not. I'm not sure exactly how much gas costs it would do and exactly how it works in there, but basically there's this distributor contract that says what people get, and the distributor is connected to how liquidity rewards usually work. And so I don't think it changes. What it basically does is it updates itself every time it might make it more gas costly on Ethereum to have it change things. It might. On XDAI, it doesn't matter. On Ethereum,
It doesn't matter. Yeah, totally.
yeah, on Ethereum, it might make it more expensive, but not by like a lot or anything. And people are claiming their money, you know.
Right. What about for the developers too? Do they have no problem plugging it in that way?
Yeah, no, this is fine.
Cool.
This is the configuration space the developers gave us.
Cool.
That Edu gave us.
Sweet.
I'm curious if during this session where we're like presenting the proposals and challenging each other's proposals, if there's any outside experience perspectives that we could bring in from other organizations that have done something similar that might be able to provide some insight.
It's a good idea. Like I was just thinking about this rate question, and we could totally. I wonder if people would engage if we just posted that question on Twitter too, and said, you know, what would you? Should the rate of liquidity mining, like should the rewards go up or down, or stay flat, or do something unique, you know, and try and target like a certain APR basically.
That's a cool idea.
Maybe tag some people.
Tag who?
I mean, the whole token engineering commons would be interested. Jeff might be interested. I mean, people who used to work at Giveth that do some token engineering stuff, you know.
Jessica?
Jeff Emmett from who Common Stack.
Yeah.
The challenge is that this is not as set up for people to understand, right? Like if I look at what I'm showing you right now. Look at these columns that are red. That's just scary. Like this is not something that someone's going to come in and just be like, oh yeah, I can intelligently tell you about something. Like,
but we could ask back like those broader questions, right? Like, and just leaving that category as just like targeting an APR. Basically, that's kind of how I would say it in the poll. We could even have to just have it be a poll too.
Yeah.
Comments in the tweet as well.
And this opens up a question about like we're not being quiet about the fact that we're doing a token, but we still haven't announced it either. It's like I don't know.
I think we can still make it general. We don't have to be like we're designing our liquidity mining, but we could say like, hey, what do you like? I mean, it's not subtle, but.
If a project is launching a token and they're trying to figure out the right rate to, you know, reward liquidity of miners, what do you think is the best? Increasing rate, flat rate, decreasing rate, targeting, or we can just say other for the fourth as well and just see what people say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just say asking for a friend, :
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's good. Big winky face.
Yeah, I mean,
That'd be like a funny way to announce.
so these percentages, like the thing is, there's so many details that it's like not enough context. It's like, well, what's the emission rate of the, you know, the reason there's we spent some exercise on this to do the circulating supply estimate because it's really critical to understand what matters for liquidity mining. You know, it's like, well, how many tokens exist out there? Because if we have a straight emission rate, but we don't know how many new tokens are entering the market. You know, if there's 7 different directions tokens are entering the market and at different rates, you know, we can only guess so much. But it's really about finding that, you know, without the context of issuance, I don't think you can really say anything about liquidity mining percentage, you know?
Well, I mean, I think yes and no. I think definitely there's nuances, but I think a question like that can apply to any liquidity mining project. Basically, should the rate increase, decrease, stay flat, or other? And we can get some cool ideas. I don't know. I think it is cool just to get some. That's one that I remember when we were talking about it. We weren't quite clear. I at least wasn't quite clear on why some projects are doing the things they're doing, and I see a lot of projects doing like a decreasing rate. That's kind of what the standard that I see, and I'm curious just to hear thoughts. And I'd be really interested to see.
Well, maybe APR, because like, are they doing a decreasing emission rate, or are they doing just a constant emission rate? But then there's more tokens entering the market, or the liquidity in the thing. The APR ends up going down.
Yeah, that's fair. That's great. That's an interesting piece. And I wonder. I mean, it could be cool to maybe I'm curious because if a lot of people are going to vote no, we don't lock it. It's a poll where a bunch of people say no, we don't want tokens to be locked, and then we decide to have a token lock, even if we call it something else. That might not look good.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about the give stream, but more about the like increasing rates. Like, what do you mean by rate? Like increasing APRs or increasing like tokens that go to liquidity mining. Because like I think most projects, almost all projects, have just a set, either a flat rate that goes for a certain amount of time or a decreasing token emission rate for liquidity, and that they're playing this like, people will put liquidity there and then just leave it there because they're lazy, and then they just turn it off and there's liquidity now.
That's what I've seen too, but I wonder if that's what they're thinking. Like, that's kind of, it could be an assumption, maybe that's right, but it could be like they're expecting the fees from volume to also increase over time and make it, for that reason they need to reward people less. Who knows?
Yeah, no, that's fair. But so by rate, do you mean like issuance rate for liquidity mining, or do you mean APR?
Issuance rate, basically.
Okay.
And maybe they expect the price of the token to go up, and that's why they're thinking about it. Like, I wonder what the thought is.
Yeah, like when I wonder what Cake was doing. They had so many pools.
Totally. That's an idea, and we don't have to do it. But I also, we don't, I love the idea of iterating, but also we don't want to spend necessarily too much time on it as well. It's easy we could have a meeting iterating on it, so finding that balance.
Cool. Okay, so I took up this whole meeting. I am so sorry. Is there anything like or Forrest's internet is having issues? Are there other topics that we want to cover?
I think the next topic was this project verification stuff. So I updated the form to apply to both Giveth.io and Giveth Trace. However, we've kind of created this new user flow where the form might not be used for Giveth Trace campaigns at this point. So, I think the wording is fine either way. It doesn't matter. And then we did test out the social media aspect of the verification, at least on the project that I took on to verify, and I got feedback, and it didn't seem like that part was confusing at all, and they were easily able to upload that link. I plan to get another batch of projects to reach out to start another round of verification. The ones that have been verified so far have been marked in the database as true, so they're all up to date as of how far we've made it, and Mateo is working on getting the badge to where it's on the front end as well. So I think that's kind of most of the updates there. There are still a couple projects in the verification party direct message that I think that still need to be assigned and taken on, and I can also work on those if other people don't have time, but I just didn't want to be the only one verifying projects.
I did AMW fund.
Oh yeah? Did you add it to the spreadsheet?
No, I just made check marks on Discord,
Okay.
but I can add it to the spreadsheet.
I'm also curious, I had a thought today because we were thinking about how we can go about automating the database to change the Boolean to true or rejected depending on the outcome of our verification parties. And I'm curious if there's a way to connect this spreadsheet to where when we change the value in the spreadsheet, it would change it also in the database.
So we can, but that wasn't what Mitch was really saying. Like Mitch was saying, basically, we need to go to a website and click the button so that emails are automatically generated. So that
right,
so
that's just a segment thing. That's just a segment thing. So it's basically whenever that value is changed in the database, then Segment would send a trigger to Autopilot to send the email.
No, but that's the thing, that it can't be just changed in the database. It needs to be changed in the UI, or there needs to be someone clicking a button on a website. So like we could make like a little simple admin panel or something where you put something in, where you put in like whatever, and then this would automatically change the database. But it's important that you have that it's happening like on a website, you know?
Yeah, I was just thinking that that admin role could be negated. Like we wouldn't have a need for an admin role if only the people verifying projects had access to change the spreadsheet, and then we could link it somehow that way.
But then we'd still have to manually send the emails.
We can.
The emails can be hooked up through a CSV file. Cam was kind of showing us on Autopilot how we can take the information from the spreadsheet and we can trigger the emails from that.
That's a super easy way to do it. If we wanted to in the future, we could have an API, we could have an API endpoint, and you guys could hit an API endpoint with like a Postman is one way to do it, and Segment does support that. But I agree that I think for now, just exporting the CSV once every 2 weeks and then porting it into Autopilot will be super easy. And I think that's what we should start with.
Okay, cool. And the Autopilot wouldn't automatically pick up new updates from the spreadsheet. It would be something I would manually have to input each time.
Yes, you can hook up. There are ways to use a tool called Zapier to hook up Google Sheets with Autopilot so that as soon as someone gets added, there are ways to do that as well if you want to automate it, but it's almost more work. Like we should set that up if it ever gets painful, but it's not going to be painful just downloading a CSV and importing it into Autopilot. Plus you get to just be there and confirm stuff as you go through Autopilot. It has some checks and everything, and you can get a final confirmation, see how many people are emailing and everything. I guess you do have that.
Would still have to be triggered, would have to be switched manually. There's no way to trigger that from the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I don't know a safe way to I don't know if we want to have spreadsheets be modifying our database in production. Did the developers, are they okay with taking a list every 2 weeks and manually making that change for now?
Yeah, they are at this point. That's all fine at this point. I'm just thinking ahead into the future of ways that we can take that responsibility from them and just have it happen automatically.
Definitely the ultimate long term is just to have admins basically that we grant permissions that in the UI they can go click a button like on the project basically that only they can see that verifies it and sends the event to Autopilot and updates it in the DB. And we'll get there one day.
Okay. For sure. Cool. I was just trying to avoid having to create those roles, but if that's something that we want to do anyways, then maybe we can just put it in with that. So that makes sense.
And one thing you said about beta project verification, we still do need to verify all the projects that are on beta. We haven't we need to do that. So the form is still useful is what I'd say.
Okay, cool. I won't switch it back then anytime soon. We can still leave it like that until we kind of get through some of the campaigns on beta.
And ultimately, it's good to not over-engineer this too, because this is an awesome process that we're putting in place for the beginning, but who knows how this is going to change. It could change drastically. So we'll keep it simple for now, and it'll be all up to governance to ultimately how this evolves.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
Agrees.
I just couldn't agree any more than that. Yeah. I have to run, guys.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're a little bit past the top of the hour, but this was a great session. Griff, you'll send that doodle poll out so we can have a hack on liquidity mining if we're able to, and if it doesn't work for everyone, then we can take use some of our Monday time for that. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, everyone, for your input. Does anyone have any additional burning shares or questions before we drop?
I have one more quick thing to add is, Griff, if you wanted to go through, we've received some new applications. If you wanted to go through the spreadsheet and give me the go-ahead to schedule interviews or pick some people to reach out to, that would be awesome. And
Can I beg you to hound me until I do it? I'm really sorry.
Okay, I will.
Okay, thank you.
Send link to document on all channels.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Love you.
guys. Thank you.
Bye.